Hi everybody, I'm Eldonna. And I am a hard-riding, bad biker chick, military veteran, master negotiator, girly girl who loves pink! Go pink! Share a quick little bit about my background and experience. I was in the Air Force for 23 years. Now I didn't fly a plane, I didn't fly a helicopter, I didn't do anything with a flying mission other than I flew a desk. That's right, I flew a desk. I was a contracts negotiator and manager for 23 years in the Air Force, and then another 7 years for the defense side of the house. I worked for Raytheon for a year and another several defense contractors, negotiating contracts. I've done everything from 1 million to 104 million in the U.S. and across the world. So basically, I can negotiate the paint off a wall. So I want to share with you 5 tips. How many? 5! First one. Tip number 1. Tip number what? 1. Everything is negotiable. Everything is what? Negotiable. That means having the mindset of a negotiator. Putting on that hat to think like a negotiator. As an entrepreneur, you need to understand how to negotiate and how to have that mindset and look out for all the things that you're doing and see how you can negotiate a better deal with yourself. And it is a mindset. You have to put on a mindset to think like a negotiator. When you go out back into the world after we're done with the conference, look around and see all the things that you can negotiate that you may not have thought about before. Tip number 2, what is it? Tip number what? 2. Get it in writing. What is it? Get it in writing. That is the most important thing about negotiation. Negotiations is basically just discussions to agree on a deal, and then what you do is you reduce it to writing into a contract. And there's so many times that we don't get things in writing. And even if you're doing business with a friend, you need to get it in writing. You need to put something in writing, even if it's a simple email, because what you said and what I said are usually 2 different things, and we get confused, and that's where the problems start. Oh, no, you said this. No, I said that. I came to California in 2003, and I was in love. It was so nice. I was in love. And it's great to be in love. But we went into business together. Yes. And I didn't get it in writing. We started a Harley parts business, selling Harley parts out of our garage on eBay. And I put up the initial investment to get it going. And we started doing really good. It was great. Things were going along really wonderful. And then he left me for somebody else and cut me out of the business. Yeah, I didn't get it in writing. Now, I could have gone to court because I had a pretty good case, but I felt like at that point in my life, I really wanted to release that and not get caught up in all that negative energy. But the problem was I didn't get it in writing. And now he's moved that business into a store, and he's doing really well with it. And it should have been half mine. But I thought, well, doesn't matter. If you're in business, be serious about your business and get it in writing. It's so important. I can't stress that enough. Tip number 3. Tip number what? 3. Stop talking.
That is the best tip of the day. It's great.
Feel that eerie silence? See, when you're in a negotiation situation, you're sitting there, you're coming up, you're talking to each other, and you get to a point where you're at an impasse, and you're not going to give, the other person's not going to give, stop talking. See, somebody wants to fill that silence, and as long as it's not you, you'll have more leverage if you don't do the talking. He or she who speaks next loses. I was in a situation where I was negotiating, I don't have time to tell the whole story, but I was negotiating somebody to take back a car that my sister had bought erroneously, and she shouldn't have bought it because she couldn't have afforded it. And the guy and I were going back and forth, oh yeah, right, this is a bad deal, she can't afford this, and we're going back and forth, and he slams a folder and says, frankly, I'm getting upset. And I said, well, I'm already upset. And I sat there like that until he said, well, he ended up tearing up the papers when I walked out the door. The car, they kept the car. But I kept quiet, so that gave me leverage. So just stop talking in your situation, and whoever talks next usually is the one who's going to concede in the negotiation. Tip number 4. Tip number what? 4. Start low. So if you're going to make an offer on something, say you're going to go buy a motorcycle for $10,000. Good price for a Harley. So that's the price that they're offering it, and you want to pay $9,000. Don't offer $9,000. You offer $9,000 and then they'll probably go up to $9,500 and you're going to end up paying more than you originally wanted to. So say the price is $10,000 and you want to pay $9,000, offer $8,000 or $8,500. But make sure it's a fair and reasonable price, that you're not like offering $5,000. That's not reasonable. But offer something reasonably lower than what you want to pay, so when they come down to the $9,000 price, you can go up to that and you've already paid what you wanted to pay. So just start low. And then tip number 5. Tip number what? 5. What do I want to share? I will share drill my skills. What is it?
Drill my skills.
This is about training your skills. And you may be thinking, well, how can I train myself to be a negotiator without going into a negotiation and messing the whole thing up? Well, I'll give you a place that's a great place to get free negotiation training, where the stakes are low and it's pretty simple. You can get an abundance of training. A yard sale. Sounds kind of funny, right? A yard sale? But think about it. And that's the greatest place to haggle that you could ever go, because nobody wants to get the price that they're asking. I mean, Craig was talking about the books. You can haggle people 50 cents down to 10 cents. That's a great place to go negotiate. And what I found as I started to train people in negotiation, that most men are direct communicators and most women are not. And as women, because we're nurturers, men find it easier to negotiate than women do, from what I found for the most part. We're nurturers, so it feels confrontational to us. So if you're somebody that negotiation feels confrontational to, go do yard sales, even if it feels uncomfortable, because training your skills, you can't just flip a switch and become an expert. You have to train and train and train and keep training until you get it in your DNA. And the only way to do that is to get experience. You can't okay, I'm an expert negotiator now, or flip the switch, okay, I'm an expert speaker now. You have to get out and train. It's the same with being an entrepreneur. You have to train yourself and get out and get some experience and get used to doing it. So make sure that you go and visit those yard sales and see what kind of deals that you can actually get. How many of you have ever gone to a yard sale by show of hands? Pretty much everybody. It's the best place to get some great deals. And I'm going to throw in, because I have time, I'm going to throw in one more bonus tip. It's build relationships first. What is it?
Build relationships first.
That's an important part of negotiation. We've been talking about relationship building. Bob Donnell was talking about relationship building. You don't want to just go up to somebody and, oh yeah, hi, I do this, and I want this from you, and give me your card, and let's go. You want to build a relationship with that person. When I was deployed in the Middle East, I spent $4 million in 4 months. And I spent a lot of time, I spent like an hour to an hour and a half at each place that I went, building relationships with the people. They absolutely loved me over there because I got it. I went in, I sat down, we talked for maybe half hour, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour before we'd even get to the business. So be sure to build relationships. In America, we're like in this microwave society, so we want to get to business quickly, but I think we need to get back to building relationships. And you watch how your business will soar, and it's a great way to negotiate. So I'm just going to go over the tips really quick. Number 1 was everything is negotiable. Tip number 2, get good at negotiating. Tip number 3, stop talking. Awesome. Tip number 4, start low. Tip number 5, drill my skills. And the bonus one, build relationships first. Awesome. So I would love for everybody to come out and take a picture on the pink carpet. I had an awesome event this past weekend. The Art of Negotiation is going to be trained, Think Like a Negotiator in October. I'd love for you to come out and find out about it and join me in the event. Nevertheless, if any of you want to sign up for it, I have it out there, but I'm going to give everybody a free home study course for the basics of contracts. All I need is your card with your address on it out there, and come and take a picture on the pink carpet. And take control of the hand parts of your life and be expert negotiators. Go pink!